Today we will be continuing part 6 of this manhwa. Lu Xing woke up to a sharp knock on the door, and had to end his training in the dream world early. Brother! Brother, come out quick, someone is looking for you! His sister, Lu Qinghe, shouted at the door, her tone a bit anxious. Got it, we'll be out right away, Lu Xing answered, a thoughtful look on his face. Lu Qing has behaved quite oddly, today. Her knock was too gentle for her usual calls. She did not stick to her usual apathetic words, instead calling him by his given name, which was later appended with, "Someone is looking for you." Lu Xing had a guess on what it was about. He tidied his room a bit before walking out. Lu Xing came out of his room. He ran a quick glance around the room and saw Lu Hai, Jing Yufeng, and Lu Qinghe in the living room. Along with them, there was a man and woman sitting beside them. Next to the sofa was placed a pile of gifts that looked pricey from the look of the packaging. Lu Xing, come on! Seeing Lu Xing come walk out, the bewildered Lu Hai and Jing Yufeng immediately asked him over. Others also turned their heads toward him. Mom! Dad! Lu Xing calmly walked over, and Lu Qinghe quickly gave him a seat. These two are... Lu Xing looked towards the man and the woman sitting on the sofa. Jing Yufeng hurriedly introduced. This is President Xiao Yuhe from the Baihe City Martial Arts Association, and this is... Jing Yufeng had a thoughtful look on her face. And Miss Ni of the Red River Martial Arts Academy. Student Lu Xing can be considered our regular patron. He should be no stranger to our academy. That said, we have even met once, student Lu Xing. Ni Shuang smiled, exuding poise and comport when she addressed everyone. Lu Xing nodded. Hello, President Xiao. Hello, Miss Ni. I'm Lu Xing. You two are here to see me because... Ni Shuang wisely did not say anything and conceded to Xiao Yuhe. Although the Red River Martial Arts Academy had some reputation in Baihe City, it was far worse than Xiao Yuhe, the president of the Martial Arts Association, who was a big shot that even her father, Ni Hongzuan, had to look up to. With a smile, Xiao Yuhe stood and spoke. I came here on official business on behalf of the Baihe City Martial Arts Association. I've come here to present you, Lu Xing, with an official martial artist badge. Lu Xing's eyes lit up slightly. He had gone to the Martial Arts Association today to take the test for this very purpose. On the other hand, when Lu Hai and Jing Yufeng, the clueless couple, heard Xiao Yuhe, they became confused for a moment. Looking at Lu Xing's calm face, Xiao Yuhe couldn't help but secretly sigh in his heart. How worthy of being the top genius of our Baihe city. He indeed is different. Lu Hai and Jing Yufeng had only just returned when the two people came to their front door. One claimed to be the president of the Martial Arts Association, and the other said she was from some martial arts school. This confused them to a great extent, and had them sit and chat for a while. Little friend Lu Xing, I am now officially informing you on behalf of the Baihe City Martial Artists Association that you have successfully passed the examination of an official Level 2 martial artist. From now on, you are an official Level 2 martial artist certified by the Martial Arts Association. Xiao Yuhe said pleasantly. Due to your outstanding performance on the CPI test, you have far exceeded the category of Level 2 martial artists. So we've decided that your monthly martial arts allowance will be paid according to the standard of a Level 3 martial artist. Not only that, due to your outstanding talent in martial arts, our Baihe Martial Arts Association will also give you a bonus of 1 million yuan, hoping that you will continue to strive for further glory in martial arts in the future. When Xiao Yu had delivered his piece, Lu Hai and Jing Yufeng, who was sitting on the sofa beside him, blanked out directly. Their eyes were narrowed, mouths wide open, and a buzz whipped around their brains. If they weren't sitting on the sofa, they probably would have collapsed on the floor. Lu Hai and Jing Yufeng wondered if they were dreaming. 1 million! You pinch me! Am I still awake? Next to them, Lu Qinghe also had a shocked expression on her face, but was in better shape than the couple. Lu Xing was calm. Except for the 1 million yuan bonus, everything else was within his expectation. Many thanks to President Xiao. Lu Xing nonchalantly put away the badge and the bonus check on the table. Lu Xing further said, I am grateful for Chairman Xiao along with the association's encouragement and support. However, there is no free lunch in this world. Is there anything you want my help with, Chairman Xiao? Hearing Lu Xing's words amazed Chairman Xiao. Chairman Xiao said pleasantly, You just keep surprising me with your calmness and talent. There is one more thing I want to inform you, Xiao Yuhe said. In 2 days there'll be a provincial training camp for high school candidates that is about to open. The association is inclined to recommend you. Is President Xiao talking about the prodigy training camp held by the provincial association? Anai Shuang, sitting next to him, interjected cautiously. Xiao Yuhe turned to look at her. You know about this camp? Anai Shuang nodded and said, I've heard of it. It's said that only the most talented martial arts geniuses in the entire Dongning province are qualified to participate, and less than 10 people from each city will be taken in. Anai Shuang took the scene in front of her eyes, and her heart couldn't help but be filled with unpleasantness. She further said, Even though that is the place where geniuses gather, it is also where they are ruined. She remembered one of the senior brothers from their martial arts training hall who attended this prodigy camp. He was always high-spirited and most regarded. But when he returned from the camp, he who was always high-spirited and full of vigor was utterly defeated and simply faded. Anai Shuang hurried over and instantly said, Lu Xing, with your talent, you don't have to take such risks. You can achieve much greater heights with your own efforts. Chairman Xiao nodded as he said, Indeed, there are risks involved with the prodigy camp training. Chairman Xiao looked at Lu Xing with anticipation and said, That is a kind of place where you could end up becoming a stepping stone for someone else's success. But for you, Lu Xing, with the abilities and talent you have displayed so far, you will be able to reach far higher than any other person. Xiao Yuhe raised the invitation letter and turned to look at Lu Xing with a gentle face. What do you think? Are you interested? Lu Xing gave a gentle smile. From what he took from Anai Shuang and Xiao Yuhe's conversation, this prodigy training camp must be all benefits with no downsides. Since that was the case, there was no harm in going for a bit. Lu Xing reached out his hand to grab the invitation letter. Chairman Xiao was filled with anticipation. Lu Xing nodded his head and accepted the invitation letter, saying, Chairman Xiao, you are right, it will indeed be beneficial for me. Chairman Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. He finally achieved his goal. Xiao Yuhe looked quite happy, then stood up from the sofa. Since my purpose here is achieved, I shall not be a bother anymore. Before Xiao Yuhe left, he deliberately shook hands with Lu Hai and Jing Yufan, and said with solemnity, Thank you for raising such an outstanding son. Lu Hai and Jing Yufan, on the other hand, saw Xiao Yuhe off, their brains still not registering what had happened. I think it is time to reveal what you are here for. Lu Xing's gaze landed on Anai Shuang and said in a calm tone. Anai Shuang looked stunned. At that moment she suddenly felt Lu Xing's temperament shift completely. If before he seemed introverted, now he looked slightly liberated. Like a reticent lion that inadvertently bared its fangs. The aura he radiated, for a moment, made her fall into the illusion that she was facing her own father, Anai Hongzhuan. A small feeling of oppressive tension rose within her. This was her, who was an official level 3 martial artist. I came here too. After all, Anai Shuang was someone who usually directed the academy, so she quickly calmed her nerves and spoke. I'm here to invite you, student Lu Xing, to become an honorary disciple of our Red River Martial Arts Academy. Honorary disciple? Lu Xing frowned. What is that? It's like any other disciple, really. You need not come every day, but of course, you come any time and whenever you feel like it. All the courses and equipment are free to use. You can even have Father personally instruct you. You'll also enjoy the highest level of treatment comparable to a head instructor. In fact, the title is just nominal, you do not have any actual obligations to fulfill. Anai Shuang hurriedly explained. This honorary disciple title was something she had just come up with. There had always been only honorary instructors and honorary trainers, there had never been any honorary disciples. But Lu Xing was too young to be hired as a head instructor, and the Martial Arts Academy valued him mainly for his terrifying talent, so Anai Shuang came up with this title. A 17-year-old level 2 martial artist, with a CPI on par with a level 3 martial artist. If such a sign was put out, will the Red River Martial Arts Academy not blow up in Baihe City? How many parents would rush to send their children to their academy? The effect of such a step was better than finding a level 4 or even level 5 martial artist to instruct. This is what An Shuang thought. No, Lu Xing decisively refused. The treatment can be negotiated, An Frost hastily conceded. Lu Xing, however, turned her words around and continued, I'm fine with an honorary membership. You can advertise that I usually come practice in your martial arts academy, which is indeed true. The word, disciple, involved too many implications. The director of the Red River Martial Arts Academy, An Hongzuan, Lu Xing had never even met him. How could he possibly admit to being a disciple of a person, even if it was just titular? He did not want someone using his name to swindle. If you can accept it, so be it. If not, then I'm sorry, Lu Xing said indifferently. Of course, I will probably still go to your academy to do tests in the future. After all, it was closer to home. An Shuang's eyes struggled for a moment, and eventually softened. Okay, honorary membership it is. The previous terms apply here as well. Just that I want this honorary title to be exclusive to our Red River Martial Arts Academy. Okay. Lu Xing nodded. Then I won't bother everyone anymore. An Shuang stood up and bid farewell. Although the final result was a bit different from what she expected, it was not entirely unacceptable. An Shuang was very clear on her part. After Lu Xing's test results spread in Baihe City, when the time came, they would make more than what they had spent on this honorary membership. Speaking of which, their Red River Martial Arts Academy can also be considered lucky. The location of the academy just happened to be in the neighborhood of Lu Xing's home, which granted them this chance. After sending An Shuang away, the family cleaned up. Lu Xing took a look at his parents, who were still fiddling with the badge and check. Lu Dehai and Jing Yufan were still in a daze. Lu Xing's mother said, Sheng, this isn't a dream, right? An award of 1,000,000 yuan and a monthly stipend of 100,000 yuan. His father further added, Was that really the chairman of the Martial Arts Association just now? He actually visited us in person? And when did you become a rank 2 martial artist? These were all the questions arising in their minds. They were still confused, and it felt to them as though they were dreaming. Lu Xing gave a pleasant smile. He was happy to achieve his goal. This is all real. I have really become a rank 2 martial artist. Mom, you won't have to take night shifts anymore. It is taxing for your body, and Dad also doesn't have to do those hard labor jobs to earn a living anymore. Your body could not handle it anymore. Lu Xing held his mother's hand and said politely. He hugged his parents, saying, I am capable of earning money now. Both of you can stop pushing yourselves. His parents were extreme for their son's achievements. Lu Qinghe was still in a daze, standing behind. She still could not believe that his trash, useless brother was able to achieve this much. At the same time, at Xingshan Medicinal Hall, He Ling Su had been impatiently waiting for a week. It has been a whole week. I don't even have his name, let alone know what he looks like. He Ling Su angrily mumbled while digging her own nails. She had checked all the documents related to the recently registered alchemists, but she was not able to find anything. Just where on earth did that genius alchemy master come from? Why can't I find even the slightest clue? He Ling Su was so annoyed. It had been a week. It had been more than a week, and she still hadn't been able to meet the mysterious pharmacist. She didn't even know what he looked like or what his name was. If she couldn't meet him, she couldn't get the new potion. Without the new medicine, there was no way for the He family to get out of their current predicament. That was why He Ling Su was so anxious and angry that she had barely slept well for the past week, and her skin had even dulled considerably. During this week, He Ling Su kept analyzing the pharmacology and ingredients of that mysterious medicinal liquid. The deeper her studies went, the more astonishing results she obtained. The efficacy of this unknown supplement, in strengthening blood, exceeded all the Grade 1 and Grade 2 supplements that were available in the market, which met the standards released by the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association and even surpassed some of the Grade 3 supplements. Not only that, but it had more than a dozen additional effects, with almost non-existent side effects, and the overall effective period was frighteningly long. No results yet? He Ling Su asked as she stomped her fists on the table impatiently. Ma Fei cautiously answered, I can occasionally get in touch with him, but every time, before I could even say anything, he hangs up on me. Useless! Weren't you patting your chest and saying it was absolutely no problem earlier? I trusted you. He Lingsu stomped her fists again and pointed at Ma Fei's nose, chastising him. Ma Fei felt suffocated, but he didn't dare refute her. Who told him to make such promises? He had lost all face now. He Lingsu sighed softly and tiredly rubbed her temples. Miss He, she heard Ma Fei call her. What is it? He Lingsu asked unenthusiastically. Ma Fei had no skill whatsoever, but he was top-notch in bragging. She couldn't stand the sight of him. I've found that master. What? He Lingsu froze for a moment, and her whole body jumped up. Where is he? Where's that master? Only to see Ma Fei with an incredibly strange expression on his face, his eyes staring straight in one direction. He then pointed it out using his finger. Right there. He Lingsu immediately turned her head, and what she saw was the television set placed in the lobby of the pharmacy. A news message was being broadcast on the television at the moment. Yesterday, an incomparably outstanding martial arts genius appeared in our city. At only 17 years old, he passed the official examination for a level 2 martial artist, and his combat power index even reached the standard of a level 3 martial artist. He Lingsu was staring at the television in a daze when she heard Ma Fei's hushed voice. Miss He, the one who borrowed our blending room, and the one we have trying to contact, it's this Lu Xing. What? He Lingsu's eyes snapped wide open. Lu Xing, martial arts genius, a master pharmacist. He Lingsu looked at the young and almost juvenile face, with handsome features, that was announced in the news. Her mind buzzed for a moment, as if 100 planes were flying over her head at the same time. Shuhai City is the place where the Dongning Province Prodigal Camp is located. In order to reach there, one first has to arrive at the army base. From there they will be transported to the Prodigal Camp. After the meeting with Chairman Xiao, Wu Yu packed some clothes, took permission from his parents, and traveled to Shuhai City. Wild Fox Mountain is the most scenic and breathtaking area located on the outskirts of Shuhai City. Among the lush mountains and forests, there are many precious alchemy treasures as well as different beasts living in the forest that can also be used in alchemy. There was a figure climbing upwards at extreme speed. It was Lu Xing carrying a hiking bag. Lu Xing passed by some animals and dashed towards the mountain top straight. His chest rose and fell rhythmically, and the interval between each breath was far longer than an ordinary person's. His footsteps were so fast that they were like cannonballs. Each step could span a distance of 7 or 8 meters, resulting in an incomparably fast speed. I didn't expect that stellar power could also be applied to movement technique. With 4 times the stellar power and the absorption of a large number of dream memories, I have reached the bottleneck in my proficiency in movement techniques. My speed is at least 5 times faster than a normal level 2 martial artist. Also, there's the natural breathing technique. I only just realized the correct way to use it. Although in the past few days, Lu Xing's BQV had increased, it was still far from reaching the standards of a level 3 martial artist. He was able to maintain his speed all the way up until now, entirely because of the natural breathing technique. This breathing technique, which was hailed as the strongest to the highest in the martial world 10,000 years in the future, finally burst into unparalleled brilliance when Lu Xing's physical strength reached its limit. Every time Lu Xing breathed, it was as if he could draw some energy from the surrounding air, which greatly replenished his depleted stamina. Under the impetus of the natural breathing technique, Lu Xing's body continued to produce even greater strength. Lu Xing landed heavily on top of a platform with both feet. He had already reached the top of the Wild Fox Mountain. At this moment, Lu Xing's body was steaming with vapor, and his entire body emitted a high temperature far beyond that of normal people. He seemed to be able to hear the sound of blood surging and rushing within his veins. Lu Xing exhaled a long foul breath, and he felt much more relaxed. Breakthrough! Lu Xing slightly clenched his fist and could clearly feel his blood chi value skyrocket by a large amount. The growth in BQV means that my physique has also improved, and I can continue practicing the stellar body refining technique. I estimate. Lu Xing sensed internally for a while. I should be able to generate 6 times the stellar power. This meant that his combat power index would also have skyrocketed again. In fact, Lu Xing felt that all these gains were secondary, and his biggest gain today was figuring out the correct way to practice the natural breathing technique during the climb. Rapid stamina recovery, greatly enhanced endurance, constant stimulation of my potential, these are all fine during regular practice, but the same were applied during the actual battle, the results would simply be terrifying. Just imagine Lu Xing, who with his natural breathing technique possessed the ability to rapidly recover his stamina, an endurance that was a few times or even a dozen or so times that of an ordinary martial artist, and this process could continuously push him to surpass his physical limits. Under such conditions, not to mention the martial artists of the same level, he could even wear down opponents that were much stronger than him. It was simply like getting stronger, as he met stronger opponents. With the breakthrough in BQV and the discovery of the herb that is required for the marrow-nourishing pill, my purpose in coming to Shuhai has been fully accomplished. Lu Xing felt relaxed. He had come to Shuhai City for the marrow-nourishing pill. One of the medicinal herbs for the marrow-nourishing pill needed to be freshly picked to be effective, and this medicinal herb was only available on Wild Fox Mountain. Lu Xing had contacted some guys earlier to buy some medicinal herbs and happened to climb up the mountain. Unexpectedly, he achieved a breakthrough in both his BQV and as well as his stellar power. The path Lu Xing took up the mountain was steep and difficult to walk, and no one usually took it, so there was no platform leading to the mountaintop. Lu Xing just stood there to enjoy the scenery, almost completely recovered, and then using his cloud-chasing step technique, he went down. When he reached the foot of the mountain, a dark-skinned, short, and thin middle-aged man squatting by the roadside smoking saw him. Lu Xing went straight towards the man. I am the one who placed an order for some herbs. Are they ready for collection? Lu Xing asked the man politely. The middle-aged man replied, Young man, the herbs you want have been picked. Because the herbs that Lu Xing wanted had to be freshly picked, he had hired a man to pick them for him. There were several bamboo medicine baskets on the ground in front of the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man casually picked up a medicine basket and handed it to Lu Xing. The basket was filled with light purple herbs. Some of them still had dew and soil on them. They looked like freshly picked herbs. Lu Xing was very satisfied and nodded his head. Okay, I want 10 of them. According to the previous agreement, 500 for each, that's 5,000. Unexpectedly, the middle-aged man shook his head. No, it's 1,000 per stock, and you have to buy all the herbs here. The middle-aged man smiled at him, revealing a mouth full of yellow teeth. What do you mean? Lu Xing frowned. Little friend, you are not a native of Shuhai, right? As he spoke, a few men who had been standing at a distance slowly walked over and stared at Lu Xing with malicious intent. Obviously, they were in cahoots with the middle-aged man. The dark and skinny middle-aged man sneered. Kid, let me teach you something on behalf of your parents. When you're outside, you have to admit defeat. Do you understand? Lu Xing's eyes narrowed slightly, and he looked at the thin middle-aged man in front of him. Are you trying to force a deal? Don't even think about calling the police. There are no surveillance cameras and no one else here. Even if the police came, they wouldn't believe a foreigner like you. Pay the money honestly and save us from being rude to you. A few men with fierce looks on their faces were about to surround Lu Xing. Lu Xing thought about it and placed his hand on a nearby rock. It was the kind of large marble that was tough in nature. It could be seen everywhere. Still want to resist? Little brat. The middle-aged man's eyes turned cold, and he was about to order his men to charge at Lu Xing, but the next moment, the expression on his face suddenly froze. A large number of pebbles, no bigger than half of a little finger, fell from between Lu Xing's fingertips. As Lu Xing continued to rub his fingers, these pebbles were quickly ground into even smaller particles. The middle-aged man and the group behind him looked dumbfounded. They stared blankly without uttering a single word. Lu Xing calmly took his fist back. His purpose of scaring the bandits was successful. What did you just say to me? Lu Xing looked at him with a calm face. Nothing. Nothing. The middle-aged man took a few steps back, His dark face was pale with fear as he stammered and spoke. "Take everything, no money! I won't charge a penny!" Behind him, several other men were looking at Lu Xing as if they had seen a ghost, palpitating with fear. The next minute all of them bent down on their knees, asking for forgiveness to save their lives. Lu Xing picked up the bamboo baskets. "I will be taking all of these if you are not going to continue. Take everything, it's free for you." Lu Xing casually picked up a medicine basket, walked to the middle-aged man, said solemnly, "I will also teach you a thing on behalf of your parents. While doing business, you should always be honest and never deceive anyone, be it young or old." He walked away after saying that. Lu Xing wanted to pay them, even though they tried to trick him. But now that they are providing all the medicinal herbs for free, he decided to take them. "I have gathered all ingredients for the pill, it's time to prepare for training camp," Lu Xing spoke to himself. The middle-aged man and his companion stood in place for a long time. It was only when Lu Xing's figure had disappeared for a long time that a sentence came out of his mouth. "Fuck, are all the high school students so fucking perverted nowadays?" With the whole basket of herbs in hand, Lu Xing returned to the hotel where he was staying. For him, this little incident had no impact at all. Lu Xing was very clear that the darkness in this world could not be completely eradicated. But he could make himself strong. That's all for today. If you like the next part of this manhwa, just comment below. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for getting epic content on this channel. See you next time.